everyone, it's Anya here. I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks, and today we are making this dream catcher. Let's get started. So for this dream catcher, you need one of these round hoops that I found in my local pound shop. I've cut off the decorations that were in there. I've left this one on, so maybe I can attach the other one again underneath the bird or something like that. But yeah, that's what I use. This hoop is about 7.5 inches wide or diameter, or 19 centimeters. And that was the, I saw them, so that was quite the easiest solution for me to make the dream catchers. I also have a 2.5 hook, because the Scheepjes Catona that I'm using, it says 2.5 to 3.5, but I crochet quite loosely, so that's what I need. It's 106 the color, and yeah, it's white, obviously, and then I have my scissors and my needle to finish off. So that is what we need. So let's get started. So we are going to start by doing a slip knot, and we put it around the hook and we close it up, and we are going to do 6 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we are going to close the circle with a slip stitch like so, and we pull it through and we pull it through. There we go, we have a little circle. Then we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do a single crochet in the ring, and then we do chain 2, 1, 2, and another single crochet in the ring. So we're making small little loops here, and we need to do that until we have 6 little spaces. So 6 little chain 2 spaces. So I've got 2. So I need to do 4 more. So single crochet into the ring. So that end is getting annoying now. 1, 2, and I'm taking along the end. So 1, 2, single crochet, 1, 2, single crochet. Let's see how many we've got. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I've got too many. Okay, so we've done that. Okay, so we're closing up our round by going into the second chain that we started our round with. So we're just doing a slip stitch there. Okay, so that closes up our round quite nicely. So now we are going to do a slip stitch into the next chain space, and then straight away we are going to do 5 double crochets into that same chain space. So 5 double crochets. So we're making a little flower, and these are the petals of the flower. So I've done 3, 4, 5. And again you're going to do a little slip stitch into that same chain space to finish off the petals, so that way our petals are nicely formed. So we're going to go into the next chain space, slip stitch, 5 double crochets straight away, another 4, that's the second one, the third one, the fourth one, and the 5th one, and then we do a slip stitch still in that same chain space, just to give the petal more definition, and then find the next chain 2 space, so in between those single crochets that we did of the previous round, and we do a slip stitch, and then straight away we start doing double crochets, And that's how you continue making your petals all the way round. So that means we have to do 6 petals, so that's 4, and that's the 5th double crochet and a slip stitch. So you make 6 petals of doing slip stitch, 5 double crochets and slip stitch into the chain 2 spaces around. So I've gone all the way around, I've got my 6 petals, and I'm just doing my last slip stitch of my last petal, and I do that into that chain space, same chain space as the petal, and there we go. So I've finished my petals, and now I'm going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then I'm going to go and find where I went from one chain space to the next here, and go in between there, and I do a slip stitch like so, and I chain 10 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you repeat this all the way around. So you find that little V where you went from one to the other petal, and you do a slip stitch in there. There we go. See you at the end of the round. So for the last loop, I've chained my 10, but really I need to end in the middle of my loop right about there. So if I do that, then I'm in here, so that's not the right place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 5 instead of 10. So let me just take this out again. I'm going to chain 5. First one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've chained my 5 chains. Now I'm going to yarn over 4 times. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on my hook, including the one that was there. Okay, then I'm going to go in between where I was supposed to go anyway. And now I'm going to start doing my double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and that brings me to where I need to be at the top of that loop there. Okay, so now we're in the middle of that loop. So now we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This counts as a treble crochet, and 3 for your treble crochet, and then 4 for your chain in between. You'll see why I'm doing this later on, because you're in the middle. So now we are going to yarn over twice, and into that same loop we are going to do 3 treble crochets together. No, yarn over twice, 3 treble crochets together. So that means you only pull through twice on 2 loops, and then you close off your trebles together in the last go. I will show you that in a moment again. So, and then you do 1, 2, 3, 4 chains. Okay, so this here is from your middle cluster, so we'll sort that out at the end. And this is your first treble crochet, 3 treble crochets together, and then you do 4 chains. So there's 4 chains here as well, I think. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So let me just explain to you properly how to do this. So yarn over twice into the next loop. You do 2 yarn overs and 2 pull throughs. Yarn over into the loop. Pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull up a loop, pull through 2. Okay, you don't do it the last time because that's your together. Okay, so we do that together. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, because we need 3 of those trebles, and then we close up our 3 trebles together by pulling through all of them. And this is your first cluster in this loop, and you need to do 3 of these clusters, each time divided by 4 chains. So 4 chains, yarn over, second cluster, 2 pull throughs, but not the third one. 1, 2, 3 loops on your hook and continue. 1, 2, 4 loops on your hook. Now you're going to pull through 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, and a third one on that same chain space. And that is what you are going to do on every chain space around. So you repeat this 6 times. And I've just lost my, oh, can I pick it up? Yep. Okay, so we do this in every, you know, chain space around. 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we continue this way all the way around, and then I will meet you at the end here. Okay, so I've made it round the middle, and I don't know whether you can tell, but this is like the flower in the middle, and these are the little green leaves around it. Well, you know, and that's how my mind works anyway. So you remember we did the 7 chains to start with, and then we did our first cluster. So these first 3 chains are really this here from our cluster. So I've done my 4 chains, so now I'm going to start doing my last cluster, if it wants to cooperate, of course. So let's do the first 2 treble crochets. There we go. And now we are just going to go into there, into the 3rd chain, pick up the loop and pull it all the way through so it closes up the cluster, because we've already done that last leg of the cluster there. Okay, so that brings us to the middle of that loop, or that cluster type thing, and that's where we are at the moment. So we have finished that round, and now we need to make our way into the next chain space. So I'm going to do a slip stitch into the next chain, if it allows me to go in there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so slip stitch and another slip stitch to bring ourselves into the middle of that chain there. Okay, then we are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you're going to find the middle of the next chain space, and you're going to do a single crochet in there like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the next chain space. There we go. So this is how you're going to continue. So I've now gone all the way round, and I'm going to attach my last little loop into there with a slip stitch. There we go. Okay. Okay, so we are in between 2 loops. We need to get into the middle of one. So we're going to do a few slip stitches to get into there, and that was not into a stitch, that was just into the opening there. Yeah, so that's 1 slip stitch, 2, so you might need to do 2 or 3 depending on, yeah, I think I'm not in the middle yet, so there we go. So 3 slip stitches, so it brings you to the middle of that loop there. Then we are going to do 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then in the next loop you're going to do 2 clusters of 3 treble crochets together. So yarn over twice into there, 1, 2, stop there because it's together, so we do the last one in a moment. Yarn over twice, 1, 2, and again because it's a 3 cluster. There we go. So now we close up our cluster. She says, easier said than done. Yeah, okay. And now we're going to do 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to do that second cluster in that same space here, so in that same loop. So yarning over twice, but only pulling through twice through 2 loops, and then you close up your cluster there. Then 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you go and do a single crochet into the next loop like so, and then you do another chain of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you do another cluster like this, another set of clusters like this into the next chain space there. So 3 double crochets, oh sorry, 3 treble crochets together. There we go, so that's the third one. So together, then 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we do another one of those clusters, and that's how you're going to go round. So in one loop you do a single crochet between 5 chains, and in the next loop you do this cluster of leaves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, see, and you do it there, a single crochet. So continue like that, and I will see you at the end here. So I've made it to the end of the row, and I'm now going to attach it with a slip stitch where I started. There we go. So we have finished our round, and I am now going to slip stitch all the way to in between those 2 leaves that we have created. I'll show you in a moment exactly where that is. So this is the one leaf, we go past that, and we go in between here, sort of one more, because that will mean it's in the middle. So there, so those are those 2 little leaves that we've created. We want to be in the middle there. And now what we are going to do is we are going to, this is the, now it's ready to go onto our hoop here. So we are now going to chain a chain of 60 centimeters. I have no idea how many chains that is. We are going to count together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'll see you when I've done that. Okay, bye. Okay, so I'm back and I chained 120. Yes, I was not going to do that on camera. So then we are going to cut it off. See, I've made a Dreamcatcher before in a different video, and I use different techniques, so go and have a look at that one as well, because it uses different techniques for doing there's no slip stitching, for example, and also I do the hoop differently as well, so do go and have a look, because you might like that one better than this one. I don't know. I'm just trying all kinds of things out, really. That's all I am doing. So I have a hook, my hoop here. There is a little circle there, so I'm thinking I might just pull through the chain through that little circle. If there isn't, you can just hook it round. If you have nothing to hold on to, try to find something that you can just temporarily hold on to your hook, because it makes it easier if it's sort of attached somehow, because otherwise it will keep on you know, moving about, and we don't want that, because that will make it even harder to do this. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 little petal things. So 9 is the middle, then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 on the side, so this one is going to be here. So I'm going to have to remember that I haven't got a petal in the middle, but it's going to be like this. Okay, so to make it nice and symmetrical. So now all I'm going to do is thread my chain in between the 2 petals that I have here and around my hoop. So around the hoop and then in between the petals. Okay, round the hoop and then in between the petals. Round the hoop, in between the petals. Okay, so now we're in the middle, so I have to make sure I go round that little circle here, so it's sort of a little bit more attached almost. You pull it a little bit and you go in between the petals here, or leaves or whatever we were calling them. And then you go and find, yeah, there. So the reason why I made this 60 centimeters is because you need to go all the round. So 120 chains. I don't know, I don't think I did a couple for good measure, but just do a couple for good measure, just so that you know that you're going to get round. It doesn't matter if it's too long, but if it's too short, you might have to redo it. And we don't want to do that, do we now? So there, that looks good. And now I need to be here. So I'm just going to go round there like that. So that's what it is going to be looking like. I'm now going to undo a couple of stitches here, a couple of chains, so to make it the right size. There we go. And I am just going to crochet it in to there. And I need my wool to be cotton to be at the back, so let's just pull that through and we do a slip stitch or a single crochet or whatever you can manage there, and then we bring it out, and there we have it. So I hope you like it. I like it, and I hope you can make it. So thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye.